Brought to you by UnderstandingCSGO.com.
Hey guys, so today in StratCraft we're going to be taking a look at Inferno. It's a tricky map and it relies heavily on utility, both from the Ts and the CTs. We're going to be looking at a strat for taking B site through banana, and this strat requires just 2 people, so it's ideal for when you're queued with one other friend, but it can be done and it's easier to do when you have more people as well. Hopefully though, if you do duo queue, you're still going to want some of your team to come with you for trades and general support. So first, let's take a look at all of the nade spots that we're going to use in this execute. For our B execute, there's 2 smokes, 2 flashes, and 2 Molotovs you're going to need to learn. We'll start with the smokes, and the first one's to come into this corner, aim at the first kink in this tree here, right in the center, and then just tap forwards and throw the smoke. The smoke's going to fly straight over like this, bounce on the wall, and smoke off CT like that. The second one is to come just into the pillar here by these logs, then climb this pillar and aim just to the left of this wire, about here, and you want to aim just past the bottom corner of this bit, so just about here, and throw the smoke. The smoke's going to fly over and bounce straight on the spool like that, and smoke off spools. And you can't stand on the spool either for this one. You have to be on top of it to see anything, which is really nice. Next we'll do the Molotovs. So the first Molotov is from here, and it's the first pillar after these logs like this, and you just line yourself up with the edge here and aim slightly lower than the corner on this. If you climb the pillar, you can aim straight at the corner, but it takes a little bit more time. But it might be easier for you to line up. Either way, both of them are going to fly out here behind Nubox and completely burn off this whole area like that. The second one is from on top of this car. You're going to line up with the very edge of this bit of cardboard, of wood, sorry, and then aim right at the top left of this aerial and just jump and throw. And this is going to go all the way over into first fruit, and sometimes even burns around into second fruit too, but not this time. Finally, we've got the flashes. So for the first flash, we have, as you're coming into banana, this one doesn't need to be accurate at all, but as you're coming in, it's to help you take control of the top of banana. You just have to throw a flash, left and right click it over this pillar, so about in line with the top of this corner, just up like that. And you can do it really easily, just left and right click and just fuck it up like that. Now this one's going to pop just here. And so you'll see anyone sort of playing the close corner, or trying to play from hay, or trying to push car or anything, it's just going to pop flash them completely. Anyone sandbags is pretty much immune unless they're playing sort of this angle, in which case it's a stupidly amazing pop flash. And it is also not going to blind your team, as you saw, providing they either stick to the close wall like this, or they come underneath. As long as they're not trying to play wide like this, they'll be completely fine. And the second one, once you've taken control of banana, the second one is when we're actually pushing banana. And this can be done in quite a few different ways, but the way I prefer is as you're running forwards, sort of aim towards this chimney, and you just have to jump. And at the peak of your jump, just right click the flashbang. So you'll see it's going to arch like this and bounce just on the roof here. And this isn't going to blind anyone on your team, but pretty much anyone holding a sort of angle like this is going to have to look away. And it gives you that peek in without getting your head sort of taken off. It's a really nice sort of entry flash, but it's best used when CT's smoked. Even though you don't really expose yourself yet, but like here, you've only just about got your gun out, so it's best used when CT's smoked off, which it will be in this strat. So some other ways to do this flash is to left and right click a flash above this window and sort of in line with this chimney like this, and it's going to bounce sort of up here, similar to the other one. Then you can also sort of, if you want, you can roll a flash off the roof with a left click, sort of like that. But it's a lot more harder. You need a bit more aim to get it there. Alternatively, you can try one into CT like this, off the ruins wall, and this is going to pop in CT, and it has the added benefit of blinding anyone maybe playing around in CT or this wall. But it's not really a pop flash anymore. It does get people playing on this side, so it depends on how deep you think the CTs are playing, whereabouts in the site they are. So it all depends on what you want to do. There's a bunch of ways to do that sort of flash. So now we've seen all of the nade spots, we're going to get into the execute, and for this strat we're going to be referring to the 2 players as purple and green. The more teammates you can drag with you, the better it's going to be, as the top of banana can be quite messy. First of all, the minimum utility loadout for this strat is as follows. Purple and green are both going to need to purchase a smoke, a flashbang, and a Molotov, which is $900 each. Then a helmet and an AK are also advised. Taking B is a 3-stage process. The first stage is to take control of banana. To do this, green is going to lead with this flash. It pops up here and it blinds the CT players as they're trying to get out to car. It's great for preventing the terrorists from being mowed down through this small passage. The next step is taking the top of banana around the sandbags. Often the CTs are going to drop back and they're going to try and smoke this themselves, but if they choose to challenge you, you'll most likely need to trade with them, which is where bringing your teammates along is going to greatly aid you. When you're here, be careful of a smoke that looks like this, or something similar to it. It's a one-way smoke where the CTs can stand in one of these two spots here, and you're not going to be able to see them when they're in it. So if you do see it, just wait for it to fade before continuing, otherwise you might lose some unnecessary life. Once you've taken control of the top of banana, you've got two choices. If they smoke it, you should have 1 or 2 people hold the top, and then the rest of the team spread out of banana to prevent a CT from pushing you from behind, maybe from mid or from alt mid or even T-apps, and then regroup once the smokes have stopped coming. You might get 3 or 4 smokes total, but you'll still have enough time for the execute towards the end. You've just got to make sure that the CTs don't get impatient and push you behind, especially if you're all stuck in banana. The second choice is if they don't smoke it, you can just execute as fast as possible to capitalize on that. For this execute, we're looking to cut down on as many of the positions the CTs can use, as B-site has so many different angles and spots that you need to check. The main spots we're going to be considering and the calls that I use for them are first fruit, second fruit, new box, emo, fountain, spools, CT, and close right. First and second are usually called first box and second box, and emo is usually called dark. When it's finally time to execute, you should follow a structure like this. So purple's going to smoke off CT from the tree, and at the same time, green is going to smoke off spools from climbing this pillar. This means when you're entering the site, the Ts only have to check the close right corner, then entirely focus their attention on the left, which limits the CT's available crossfire positions. Next, purple's going to throw a Molotov from here to new box, and green's going to throw one from this top of car to first fruit. This Molotov to first fruit often also burns around to second fruit as well, which effectively means the only spots left to hide for the CTs are in dark or around the fountain or behind one of the smokes. Finally, green's going to lead with a flashbang, and this is going to force the CTs to actually look away from the angle that they're holding, and it's going to give the Ts a much better chance of gliding around this final corner with their heads intact. Once you're in the site, just make sure it's completely clear and stick the bomb down. I hope you enjoyed that Stratcraft video. The Strat was designed around 2 friends that queue together and want to learn some strats with each other, but it could definitely be adapted to a full team or for use later in the round when some players have already died. At any rate, I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you for watching.